Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Tonight, police in Maumelle are investigating a shooting on Highway 365 that happened just after 1 this morning. Once police arrived, 2 people were taken to hospitals for treatment. Officers say that the suspect had already left the scene. Police believe they have a person of interest that they're attempting to find and do not believe that anyone else is in danger. Over in Garland County, police are asking for help locating a missing man. 23-year-old Tyler Cheney was last seen on Thursday at around 4:30. He was leaving the Teen Challenge of Arkansas on Walnut Valley Road. He was wearing a blue shirt and tan shorts and had a green backpack and orange suitcase. If you have any information, you're asked to call the sheriff's office at the number on your screen. Parts of Benton are under a boil order tonight. The notice for anyone who had a stop in service today. Benton utilities say the issue came from a break in a 12-inch water main line. This impacts customers on McCurdy from Kenwood to Greenhill, on Greenhill from Highway 5 South to Sherris, as well as customers on Sherris. Benton utilities didn't share an expected timeline, but say the health department will lift the order once it's safe to drink. And a heads up for people in Conway, the police department's SWAT team will be conducting training exercises at the Baptist Hospital on the 1555 Exchange Avenue tomorrow. You might notice more law enforcement officers and emergency vehicles out in the area. The drills will start around 7 in the morning and should last through 2 in the afternoon.
Certainly hope you had a great weekend so far. It extends one more day, Labor Day. A lot of folks have the day off tomorrow. You might have a little visit to the lake or possibly some grilling. You might be affected by some pop-up showers and storms due to an upper-level low-pressure area. That low right now is in northeast Texas, already spreading some shower and some thunderstorm activity in southwest Arkansas. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised tonight if more of this activity moved into west central and even central Arkansas. I mentioned rain and thunder tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a complete washout, but we will have to keep an eye on some stronger storms that could produce some wind and hail. This is by 3 o'clock. If you have some interests outdoors, keep an eye to the sky. 6 o'clock, that area moves a little farther to the east and eventually out of the state as that upper low moves out of the region. Tomorrow's forecast highs will be in the upper 80s to low 90s. It will be a hot day, a humid day with those temperatures in the low 90s, and that looks like it's going to stay with us for a few days. We'll talk about that in our upcoming 7-day forecast in a few moments. Sarah, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Now, the city of Jacksonville is making some headway over at Dupree Park after they suffered millions of dollars worth of damage from the March 31st tornado. THV 11's Rebecca Brown gives us a closer look at their progress so far.
This is a brand new swing set here at Dupree Park in Jacksonville after it was once a place full of devastation after the March 31st tornado. But after nearly 5 months of hard work, it started to reclaim itself again as a pillar of the community.
It's good to hear the sound of laughter again coming out of the playground at Dupree Park in Jacksonville, when just 5 months ago you can only hear the sound of construction.
We've been through a lot, and that's kind of an understatement, but our city employees, city staff, and all of our departments have worked so hard.
Dupree Park was in the March 31st tornado's line of destruction where it wiped out almost everything here in its path.
The damage to Dupree Park totaled right at $3.6 million, and we are putting that much into it. We were bringing it back like it was, but better.
Jacksonville Mayor Jeff Elmore says the playground here is now handicap accessible and filled with brand new swings, slides, and kids ready to play. But we're not quite at the finish line just yet.
We still got some fencing to come in, shade structures coming over the top of the playground that's behind us, restrooms to finish, but we are getting close.
Kevin House, the Parks and Recreation Director for Jacksonville, says he thanks all the hands involved working diligently day and night to bring a park that glues this community together.
All of the Parks and Rec and other city staff have really put in a lot of hours to get us to where we're at and trying to get us to the finish line.
In Jacksonville, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
House says the goal is to have everything up and running at Dupree Park by the end of December. Once it's all finished, they'll do a ribbon cutting ceremony and welcome everyone. And while recovery efforts are still underway, some areas hit hard during the storm are already brainstorming solutions for any future disasters. The Amboy Neighborhood Association mailed out surveys for neighbors to fill out so they can share their experiences from the storm and also give any feedback on what to improve on in the future.
What would you want us to do differently, or could we? And so that's the type of questionings that folks will find.
Directors say so far most of the responses have been positive, but they wanted to give everyone a chance to express their honest opinion through the survey. The surveys were just mailed out, so neighbors should be getting those any day now. We also have it linked right now on our website at thv11.com. As Florida recovers from Hurricane Idalia, the president visited the state over the weekend to meet with officials and see the damage for himself. Florida's Republican Senator Rick Scott joined the president, but not Governor Ron DeSantis. Instead, the Republican presidential candidate was handing out food about 75 miles away. The two had spoken before, and President Biden cleared the way for federal disaster relief funds for Florida, saying politics aren't hampering the recovery effort.
Oh, I'm not disappointed. He may have had other reasons but he did help us plan this. He sat with FEMA and decided where we should go, where would be the least disruption.
Governor DeSantis had said he was concerned a presidential visit could get in the way of recovery efforts. The White House said they chose a location where power has already been restored. Over in Nevada, a festival turned nightmare after torrential rain at Burning Man has tens of thousands stuck in the desert, which has turned into a muddy mess. CBS's Christian Benavidez reports.
Storms sweeping through Nevada's Black Rock Desert, where crowds gathered for this year's Burning Man festival, have left tens of thousands stranded after desert sand turned to mud. Authorities are investigating the death of at least one person.
It's kind of a state of emergency. Everyone was asked to stay in their camps and ration food and water and not leave the premises.
Husband and wife Michael and Olga Davidson made it out after first attempting to bike through the mud.
Bicycle can't move anymore.
Then having to walk for about 2 miles.
We are walking out.
For us, it was like, we can't drive out from here. We can't fly out from here, but we can walk out from here, and let's just walk.
Eventually, Davidson was able to help someone whose car was stuck. That driver got them to Reno, Nevada, but tens of thousands remain stranded. Among the lucky who got out, celebrity DJ Diplo and comedian Chris Rock, who posted they walked 6 miles through the mud before being rescued by a fan in a pickup truck. But with more rain on the way, there are concerns about a lack of supplies, overflowing porta potties, and roadblocks. The festival turned nightmare could be a long way from being over. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
Participants have been told to conserve food, water, and fuel, and to shelter in a warm and safe space. It's unclear when the roads may clear. The latest jobs report shows employers are still hiring, but there are signs the job market is slowing down. Overall, employers added 187,000 jobs in August, a better than expected number, but gains for July and June were revised down significantly, and the unemployment rate jumped from 3.5 to 3.8%, the highest number since February of 2022. Experts say the job market is returning to more normal levels after an explosion of hiring when pandemic lockdowns lifted.
The job market is moderating. Last year, the pace of hiring was almost breathtaking, and now we're averaging about 40% lower than last year's monthly hiring pace.
The latest data also showing fewer Americans are quitting jobs and more are joining the workforce. The amount of people are making this go up. Wages are also 4.3% from last year. Grocery shopping has felt like more of a hassle than a necessity recently as prices continue rising and falling. So we wanted to know for sure if there was any relief coming. THV11's Ian Russell spoke to those in the industry to find out and has more.
Whether you love or hate grocery shopping, one thing is clear. Prices are once again going up.
Frustrating would be a good word.
Steve Good, like all of us, has seen those prices rise and fall over the past few years, but he's got a unique perspective as executive director of the Arkansas Groceries and Retail Merchants Association.
As I talk to retailers across the state, I think that they're seeing it all over.
We're in a better spot now than a few months ago, he says, but still prices are higher than this time last year.
And so you're going to see around a probably 5.5% inflation by the time the year shakes out.
So what's causing this? Why are prices so up in the air? Well, there's a lot of reasons, some close to home and some halfway around the world.
It's really just global supply factors that are a big part of it.
Jeremy Horbacewicz is an economist at UCA. He says the price of ingredients in the food we eat were high the past 2 years thanks to shortages and supply chain delays.
As the price of things like wheat stabilizes, then the price of the things we buy that are made with that are going to see those prices stabilize too.
Horbacewicz says the Federal Reserve and their increase of interest rates also steadied prices.
I think the Federal Reserve Bank is at a point where they're trying to decide, have they done enough? And they got to kind of wait and see, which means we probably won't see any big declines coming up in the next few months.
Good says it's a hard line to walk, finding ways to lower prices for customers while making ends for the business meet. With prices looking like they'll hold where they are, he says there may be some hope coming soon.
But as we trend into the fall, it looks like there are deals coming for maybe retailers to buy from manufacturers that will hopefully net a little bit lower food costs for consumers.
In Little Rock, Ian Russell, THV 11 News.
Horbacewicz also says the cost of the basics like milk, bread, and eggs have gone down quite a bit, but they still remain high. Still ahead tonight, after a natural disaster like a hurricane or tornado, lots of people turn to generators to make sure they don't lose power. But will FEMA actually reimburse you for your generator? We're going to verify that after the break. Tom?
Well, no natural disasters in our forecast for your Labor Day, but we do have a rain chance that may affect some of your outdoor events and activities. I'll talk about that after the break.